All right, we got people joining us here. We'll give a moment here for everybody to get into the room. Hope everybody's having a great day, and we'll kick things off in just one more moment here. All right, go ahead and approve that. We should be good to go. Let me go ahead and make sure that I'm spotlighted here. There we go. All right, everybody, welcome to this month's elevator pitch. And we've got a very exciting lineup here. Um, I'll go over here in just one moment, but as we know, elevator pitch is an opportunity for us to learn from three very unique vendors, learn about who they are, what they do, and then the value that they provide to you as an MSP. At the end of the day, as MSPs, we're looking for ways to become more efficient, more productive, deliver a better client experience, become more secure, and last but not least, become more profitable. And that's the name of the game when it comes to running our MSPs. Of course, we're always looking for new ways to improve the service that we offer to our clients, whether that be, adding something to our stack, maybe replacing something in our stack, whatever the case may be. And what we're going to do today is each of our presenters will have 10 minutes to be able to go over their elevator pitch. During that 10 minutes, they will just present to us. If you do have any questions, you'll be able to save those for our breakout room. The demo rooms, breakout rooms, which whatever you'd like to call them, will be after all three of our presenters are done speaking. And so they're gonna, just walk through those, that criteria. Then we'll jump in and go into our demo rooms where they can do some hands-on learning. Also, answer any of those questions that you have. So if you do have questions, go ahead and save them, jot them down as you go along, and save them for that time. I do want to make sure that everybody knows that we have $250 of hard cold cash that will be given away to one lucky attendee. And so the trick is you need to stay with us all the way to the end. So you do need to be present to win. And we do want to see you active in one of our demo rooms. So be sure to join our demo rooms, engage with our audience or our speakers, and we'll randomly select one lucky winner and send out that $250 for you. So with that being said, we do have three speakers today. We've got Autotask, we've got Marketex, Equilibrium Consulting, as well as Movebot. And so each of them will have their 10 minutes. And so we're going to go in alphabetical order. We're going to start out with Autotask. And we have Bick here with us. How you doing today, Bick?
I'm doing well, Dan. Thank you very much for asking.
And I mentioned the other day when we were doing our prep, Carl, how much I love that background. And you said Vancouver, correct?
Yes, I'm in Vancouver, Canada. That's true.
That's awesome. And that is an amazing background. And the thing that really caught my attention is, gosh, what did you say? Raincouver? Is that what you called it? Because of all the rain you
Yes,
guys get there?
the amount of rain that we get, it's called Vancouver. That's for sure.
Exactly. You are with Kaseya, which is, of course, Autotask is part of the Kaseya group of products. And so we're very excited to have you here talking about the Kaseya, or I should say, the Autotask PSA, and
Mhm.
how Autotask can help you better manage your tickets and just your overall management of your clients, and so on. So before we kick off your 10-minute timer, I'm going to ask one thing about Bick that, maybe nobody else knows that you can tell us.
I guess the only thing that people don't know me is like I'm an early riser. I'm an early bird. I manage all the people in East Coast, West Coast, Central MSP, and I'm mostly active all the time. And the people ask me like, which time zone do you work at? Like I work at every single time zone. So if you need me, just ping me. I will be active all the time during the day. I don't
That's
know, it's good
awesome.
or bad, but yes, I'm there. if somebody needs me.
That's awesome. So not only does Kaseya and Autotask provide 24 by 7 support, Bic also provides 24 by 7 support.
That's so true.
You
Just
do
like
have to sleep, every so often though. But
yes,
so what we're going to do is you have control. You can share your screen if you have a slide deck there. And we're going to go ahead and set your 10 minutes now, and we'll turn things over to you.
thank you very much, and I hope everybody can see my screen. A thumbs up will be good.
Yep, perfect.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. So, what is Autotask and why do we need Autotask as a platform in the MSPs who are either growing or at a stage where they're looking to streamline their existing processes? So it's we're talking about the building a foundation for a scalable MSP growth instead of using fragmented tools. With my experience working with MSPs over almost a decade now, the that's the basic anatomy of any MSP's life as a life cycle management of their business. It can start from as basic as prospecting, from onboarding the client, then sending them invoices, contracts, using them, handovering to the help desk team, servicing them, managing them as an account, and then retaining their business as well. This usually comprises about of 80% of the MSP's life. Obviously, it could be segmented to different teams depending upon the size of the operations that the MSP is running. If it's a one-man shop, the person is wearing multiple hats and doing all of this by themselves. It's a sizable business. They have multitude of teams, people that are doing these, initiatives in their environment. Now, what happens here is all of us who are into this business, we always eye to buy something best of the breed as a product. They're amazing as platforms, but do they talk to each other? That's where we drop the ball. Disconnected tools fracture the operational thread. Maybe we are using a different CRM to prioritize the client, sending them quotes, winning their businesses. Then we have a different platform to create their invoices, their accounting packages, or onboarding for the baseline project management capabilities. Either it is a data silo or it's a manual data entry or a context of the constant text switching. That slows the overall processes for the MSP. That's where the hidden cost lies. Because we are using such a fragmented tool which has got low or no integration at all, which increases our higher headcount dependencies. That means we may have to hire more people in the business to do the same stuff. Or there are leaky handoffs because when we are transitioning data from one platform to the other platform manually, that takes so much of time. That increases the pressure on a margin. So should I buy something which is connected or should I add more people as a headcount in the business? That's the continuous struggle that our partners feel today. That's where Autotask as a platform comes into the play. It provides you with a unified operational backbone. Autotask is not just a ticketing platform, it is an entire PSA, professional systems automation. It does everything for you from code to cash. You have a CRM built into the platform so as you can create your clients, create opportunities for them, track those opportunities, build out quotes, send those quotes to the client. When the client signs off, you can build a contract on the platform in the Autotask itself for all the services that you're billing them for a particular month. It could be time and material, break and fix, recurring service contracts, umbrella contracts, you name them, we already have pre-built on the platform. Post that, if in case you want to procure something, the POs that you want to generate from your third-party vendors that you are servicing the client for, you can create those procurement quotes as well. After that, account management kicks in because account management are supposed to grow the existing book of business. They can see the services they are offering. Are the contracts are profitable or not? Where are we losing the money? Are we growing more projects? So project management capability is also built on the platform. So basically, we are able to manage the entire life cycle of a client from the inception to the current state of managing or retaining their clients. That's where the fundamental point here is when we look at the diagnostic of the situation, we are comparing the broken model of amazing siloed tools, maybe, or a unified platform. Is it a heavy context switching that we are moving things around manually all the time, or you are optimizing your billable hours? because I'm in no place to put a cost of your manpower in this current state of affairs. You know it better. So do you want to see to have more people on the platform, which is leading to leaked revenue, or you are able to capture 100% of their billing time? So additional headcount or scale more endpoints with the same data set of the employees that you're managing. So if you compare them, the status quo is the current status is, again, I don't want to sound like a broken record. You have data silo in different platforms, more context switching, or siloed logins. You're on an average, a partner uses 7 to 8 different tools in their environment. It could be from your documentation, from security, remote management, PSAs, and so on and so forth. At least from the operational side of things, when you are actioning on the platform, Autotask will save you a bunch of time, which will lead an impact to your revenue. It will reduce your cost, enable you to scale operationally on the platform, and you will be able to use this tool from every single step. Now, the question here is that which I always encounter when I'm talking to my peers is when is the right time to acquire a platform like Autotask? There could be certain reasons, again, depending upon each individual that I'm speaking to today. I am a small shop. I don't have the cost or the time to implement a product like Autotask. I will buy something which is cheap or maybe super expensive from my pocket. I will try to build on it. Then I will see in the future as a scale. Or to the other side, I've already been to this business for last 4, 5 years, 6 years, or 10 years. I've got a handful of clients, but I don't have time to take a step back to learn something new and deploy in my environment because there's no way I can pause my existing business to learn something new. So rather than doing all these things, you should acquire a platform which is scalable, that can grow as you are growing. You have got abilities to either leverage APIs, integration, sandbox environment, AI. Everybody's talking about these things. So Autotask does everything for your business. So the end crux or the final output here is Autotask will become the backbone of your service lifecycle, connecting service delivery, billing, workflow management. So you can work or to scale your operations rather than figuring out how many people do I need in my environment to work the same set of things that you're doing right now. So anybody to whom I'm speaking to, if you have some more questions, please let's connect on the separate Zoom call that Dan has set up for us as a breakout room. Any follow-up questions, I can certainly take you through those. If in case you want to have some more specific demo details, we can connect as we proceed. So Dan, I know I'm on a ticker right now. I have got a ticker on my screen as well. I try to make sure I do my elevator pitch within the prescribed time. So we're back to you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And and the one thing that really stood out to me is the picture that you have of the MSP with all the load of the work on their back. And and I look at that, and the first thing that came to mind for me is from chaos to clarity. You go from a chaotic environment where you're doing things manually to complete clarity, allowing you to manage more. So, and you mentioned when is the right time to add a PSA. I'm a firm believer of don't wait until you definitely are in so need of it that it's too late. You know, as you're growing the business, now is the time, because you want to build that out and perfect it as you're scaling, so that as you scale, you're able to manage that new business, and that is the way to do it. So thank you for that, and I'm going to go ahead and spotlight our next speaker, which is Pete. And let me bring him in here. There we go. How you doing today, Pete?
I'm doing all right, Dan. How are you?
I am doing awesome. It's great to have you here. And as always, I have to say thank you for your service. I know you are a veteran, and we all appreciate that.
It was an
So,
honor, and thank you very much.
couple things. Of course, we know a lot about Pete, but we need something new about Pete that we don't know that you can share with us.
Wow. I really can't think of anything anymore, Dan. You've stripped it all out over time.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
everybody knows that I'm a an avid novice race driver. So I get out whenever I can and seen my cars come around the US as we did back in COVID and all. It's been a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I mean, personal thing about me is I'm getting ready for granddaughter number two here in about 2 to 3
Nice.
weeks. So,
Congratulations.
I've hit that stage in life now where grandchildren are going to be multiples. So,
That is awesome. Well, new
so
grandchild, you can't top that as something new about Pete. That is a good one. So
yeah.
until
So
until grandchild number three, that's what you roll with.
I believe that will be not too far behind. So
There you go. All right, Pete, I'm going to go ahead and start your timer. Your 10 minutes starts now.
okay. Well, oop, let me get my screen arranged here where I can share real quick. Uh, we will go right here. Well, I'm just going to go with it because I am not the best at Zoom. Here we go.
There you go.
All right. So we are an outsourced marketing company. We turn 18 years old here this June. I'm an ex-MSP, so I did the 12-step program and I stepped out to the dark side and became a vendor, as many of you know. So my team is very technical in nature, comes from industry, has been in industry, and over 18 years, we've served several hundred um, ITSPs in the marketing area, anywhere from $500,000 up to $100 million plus. We have some very large clients as well as some very small clients in an incubator program to get them going. But what we basically tell everybody is marketing isn't broken. It just starts wrong. Everybody starts because they rush right in to say, I have to do social media, I have to do everything. And we take a very different approach. We basically look at how you win through your ideal client profile, your persona, and journey. So when we work with you or we engage with an ITSP or a vendor, we're very careful and we take the first 30 to 90 days to really do the block and tackling to align who you're really trying to attract. And we found that that allows us to go in and get concise messaging that allows you to have a better focus on who you're trying to attract based on your client profile, the personas, the buyer personas, and the journey that they're going to take through your digital profile getting to you. Um, as we know, um, this messaging is very important and more so now because of the chat engines. And those that are not engaged in the chat engines, we know that 60 to 70% of buyers now are using chat engines to do their research, to get their answers, and then pick up the phone and make a phone call or schedule a meeting. They may not ever go to your website because they can get it all in a chat engine if you're properly set up. So buyers use the AI now and do the peers and the researches. That's their three places to go. Your website is important. You still need to do it, and that's where all of this componentry on trust and AEO, SEO content gets stored, but it gets indexed by the LLMs periodically through the year and goes. So we've moved to focus and we've rebranded ourselves from an MSP marketing agency to an AI enabled marketing agency. And gosh knows you can't get out of anywhere these days without saying AI. But what does that really mean? It really means that we're using it to bring content and scale to your marketing program quicker, more precisely, uh, because we can go out and get data and do the analytics quicker on you, on your business to come up with the right messaging and strategy. And yes, there's that word strategy. We build a strategy before we start campaigning. The strategy that way is something that can be measured. We can look at analytics and we can pivot based on the analytics to do more of what's winning and less of what's not winning, right? From an engagement. We don't measure how many followers you have, because quite honestly, that followers don't turn to cash, right? What we manage and we measure is engagement and conversion, right? And that's the difference between us and most of the other marketing agents that are in the IT space. And then we write the content and the pillar pages. Pillar pages are something that are designed to tell the story to the buyers and take them on a journey without having them go back to a menu item. And you'll be able, if you come into the demo room, I'll show you some of them that we have on our website, and you'll see very quickly how quick an end user can get what they look if they visit your website and not in the chat engine. But you'll find the same engines in the chat engine. But that's all about content that loops, and that loop turns into authority and trust, right? So we have a pillar strategy that goes into every marketing program. Yes, I say that word again, strategy. Short-term pipeline, long-term brand, right? It's as Dan would say, omni-channel Pete, right? I write an article every Monday. It goes in our website. We put it up on LinkedIn, and it follows into our other media. But I write an article called Omni-Channel Monday, and it's all about the topics in marketing and the channels that you use in order to be successful, right? But short-term pipeline is where a lot of people fall short because they like to go for the quick hit. And then if they don't get the quick hit, that's when the marketing program is no good. What you really have to look at is building the long-term brand and then converting the brand into demand. So it's just like anything in sales. If you put 100 prospects into the top of your pipeline, over time they're going to filter down and you'll get 5 good ones out of the bottom. But if you keep it at 100, then you've built a repeatable process that gets down in, and you'll always get the 5 out each month, so you can predict what your outcome will be. Well, marketing is the same way. You have to build the process and build the in the tool sets, whether it's inside the CRM of a PSA like Vic talked about, or a dedicated CRM that's outside of what's there, that's got much more function to hit all the channels and record things in there, but integrate very well with your PSAs and other tool sets, right? It's a discipline. Uh, where we really find strong is we have what we call a marketing discipline guarantee. And what it basically says is we'll guarantee what we can control. We can't control what happens in your market, or text coming or going, or you being too busy and you lose a client and now the pressure is on us to turn another client in the door for you. That's not how it works. You control that part, and others control that part. What we control is the process and the repetitive nature of consistently executing and delivering the portions that need to be delivered to get that pipeline at that consistent 100 or whatever number I'm using that as a methodology. And then we align reporting so we can look at the analytics and make quick decisions to pivot where it's needed to do better marketing and alignment. What this really does is it boils down to outcomes, right? The outcomes are better fit for you as an IT provider. It's what differentiates you. It helps build faster trust because the people are doing so much online and in the chat engines that the trust is very important, and the components of a trust model are very big. And it also does AI-driven opportunities. I will tell you, we work with this in our own platform. We fully implemented it. I think I may have told you, Dan, in a prior conversation, but in 3 months we've turned, or in a year we used to turn 4 to 5 MQLs, marketing qualified leads, into us because we're considered overhead, right? So people can't add $1 to us and resell us like a SaaS product. Ours is more long, get on the train, ride the train from East Coast to West, get on the turnstile, come back and keep going, right? The train just never stops, right? We use this methodology for ourselves. We know it's proven. We turned in the last 3 months 19 qualified leads. 9 of them have already converted into revenue for us as recurring contracts. 3 more have contracts out. That's a very high conversion rate. The best statistic about this is we have a very large MSP database of about 15,000 to 20,000. Not one of the leads that came to us are in our database. So they're all net new logos that we never touched before, which shows the AI-driven approach with AI is a faster trust and a better fit client for us. And they're all fantastic clients that we've turned. So if your marketing depends on forms or just emails, you're really missing on the buyers. And if that's what your marketing engine is all about, um, you need to rethink your strategy. We're here to help you with that strategy and get you on the right path. But basically, we engineer how buyers choose you. And that's a different approach to marketing, but we use all the modern tool sets to get us there. And of course, I always have my contact information, and I think I'm right at my mark.
There we go. All right, we're going to go ahead. There we go. A couple things that jumped out at me, Pete, is first off, discipline that you mentioned. And just like any, the functions that we have in our business, it does require a discipline. And one of my business advisors, early on said, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And we all feel that we can do things ourselves, but is it really the best approach? Do we have the ability to do it as effectively? And do we have the discipline to do it consistently? Because we know that that consistency is critical. But I want to throw out, and of course I'm going to throw out a shameless plug here. Our each Friday we have our MSP discussion group, where it's an informal peer group. MSPs can join. There's no cost. It's every Friday at 12 noon Eastern time. Interestingly, last week Friday, one of our regular MSPs brought you up because he's one of your clients, and what he had mentioned is that you guys are talking a lot about AEO, that answer engine optimization, and we all know that how critical SEO is, but AEO is becoming even more critical for us to be able to reach those that are leveraging the AI tools that are out there. So. And Taylin, Taylin, if you can throw a link into chat for our MSP discussion group, if anybody wants to join our calls each Friday at noon Eastern time, feel free to do that. So Pete, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and
Thank you.
move on to our next presenter. We've got Ramiro, and Ramiro is he is far, far away.
Yeah, far,
You
far
are
away.
in New Zealand right now.
I am, and I'm also very sick thanks to seat 1J on the flight over from Houston.
Oh, geez.
So,
Well, I
yeah,
hope you get through it pretty quickly. I just got through that myself. It took a good 3 weeks to completely clear it up, but
yeah.
never fun. And so
The worst part is my daughter had a nasty flu, and I knew I was coming here. So my wife's like, "All right, you just sleep in the office, like stay separate. We'll quarantine you so you don't get sick."
yeah.
And I'm flying, from Houston to Auckland. It's like 13 hours, right? And I'm flying only the whole way. And I'm like, oh
Oh
God.
no.
And 5 days later, woke up sick with a fever.
Oh
So now
geez.
I'm now quarantined here, not going to the office. So I traveled more than halfway around the world to just sit here because I don't want to get other people sick.
Yeah.
So either way,
Well, I appreciate you being here, and so you of course are with Movebot, and which is based out of New Zealand. However, you're New Jersey, New York. I forget.
oof, don't go there. I'm in Boston.
You're in Boston. Okay.
I'm in Boston.
East Coast. I should have just said you're on the East Coast. So and so one tell us one thing about Ramiro that nobody else might know.
Well, I mean, I'm relatively new to the Everything MSP family. If people probably remember Colin was longtime VP. He's now retired, and he think he's like biking in Vietnam for like 3 months.
Oh my.
So he's enjoying his
Yeah.
time. So I'll start with something crazy that you would not believe. So if anyone's Boston based, will know the kind of the town layout. I grew up in Malden, which is outside of Boston, like a suburb of Boston, and there was a mouse, and you can't make the story up. And everybody scattered around, and it looked like I ended up stepping on the mouse, but I left my leg. The mouse wasn't there, and then we went to Brookline, which is like it's like 15 miles, a half-hour drive, right? Many hours later, the mouse jumps out of my pants.
Oh no.
I wish I could make the story up. I really wish like I come up with this, but and there's witnesses. I could call my best friend right now. He would be like, "Yep, it actually happened." So
Oh
either
my
way,
gosh. That is probably one of the most unique stories that we've heard. That is wild. And
yeah, I don't have any others, Dan. So like that's
that's
just the wildest
awesome.
one that ever happened to me. So
That is
in the
awesome.
scheme of things, yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and start your timer now, and
All right,
your 10 minutes begins right now.
cool. I am not a Zoom user as well, so I will try to share, and we'll see what happens. So,
Okay.
oh, I am getting an exclamation mark for some reason.
Uh,
That's not good.
so when you click the share button,
Yep, I'm getting just a big exclamation.
okay.
Let me
You
try.
want
I mean, I'm
you
gonna try to
want
share my whole screen. Y'all, let me see if you can. Oh no, allow Zoom. I need to. Yep. New laptop. Guess what I need to do? Because it's a Mac, I need to go and give it security settings. Wow, this is not great.
no, go ahead and take care of that now. Um,
Yeah, but there's a problem. There's one problem. I have to quit and reopen.
oh, okay. So you want to
So,
you can go ahead and wing it without it. So
I mean, if you want to just give me 30 seconds, I'll quit and reopen and
yeah,
jump back in. Yeah, sorry
yeah.
about that.
No,
Crazy.
no, no. And so, I'll kind of, while you're doing that, I'll fill the void a little bit. One of the things with Movebot that's really jumped out to me is that, we are all, dealing with many different things. A lot of times, when we think about moving data, we're thinking about moving data from, maybe a server to a server. However, we're living in the world of, serverless environments. We have more and more of our clients that are serverless. And so often, in what Movebot is able to do is, go from a server to cloud, server to Teams, server to whatever the case may be, SharePoint. And so that is one great thing that I've learned a lot about from them over a period of time. And in addition to that, of course, you've got moving cloud to cloud, which we also see. We've got clients that might have gone down that journey of saying we want Google Workspace, and then realize it wasn't what it was quite cracked up to be, and then they're moving back. So now we're gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and restart your time there.
Oh
And
yeah, I probably don't need it. It's a 10 minutes, a very big elevator, so it's like the Burj Khalifa,
there
right?
you go.
Yeah, so I'll be concise with everybody else's time. I want to make sure we can go into the breakout rooms. So I'll
Perfect.
kind of cut my presentation short. So apologies for that. If anyone's ever used the Mac, you know exactly what I'm feeling. First time you share on a new machine, you got to give it provisions, and yeah, exactly what happens. So you have to restart the app. But either way, I'm Romero. I'm the VP of Sales here at CouchDrop. If you remember, you probably remember talking to a gentleman by the name of Colin. As I mentioned, he has retired, so I took over from him. I have a lot of experience in the MFT space. I come from another company that had an MFT solution and spent 15 years there. So I'm really passionate about the space. But who are we? We're actually CouchDrop. Funky little name, right? Movebot seems pretty straightforward, but CouchDrop is the name of the company. We are a Kiwi-based company. Um, as I mentioned earlier, I am in New Zealand in a little place called Christchurch. And that's where we're founded. That's where we started. And oddly enough, since we are a New Zealand-based company, we don't have a lot of New Zealand customers. So when locally, when we talk about CouchDrop, everyone thinks we're like furniture related, but we're not. We're actually a application that helps our MSPs and our customers move data. So we were launched in 2018, first with CouchDrop, and then we brought in Movebot shortly after that. We have a sign that's in our office, and it sits right to the right of my desk, and it says "Develop painkillers, not vitamins." So what we want to do is we want to prescribe and deliver solutions to our customers to solve pain and not really to help with something else, right? So we are really, really flexible with that. So that allows us to really expand and really help our customers when new platforms come around. We can quickly implement all that information. So why use Movebot for your next project, right? So Movebot, as I mentioned, came out of CouchDrop, but it simplifies one of the most boring tasks in IT services, which is migration of data. So it's fully SaaS, so it's really built to scale from the ground up, as I mentioned. It came from specific needs of our MSPs asking for this feature because CouchDrop does something similar, but it's not really a data migration tool. So this is strictly a data migration tool, and it's fast. So we can move terabytes of data per day, which is really unique. It's really easy to use and set up. So point, click, and essentially go. And as I mentioned earlier, since we are developing those painkillers, we're constantly optimizing Movebot to make it easier. So, whether it's on-premise to cloud, tenant to tenant, email migrations, cloud to cloud, doesn't matter. We can easily help with that. And we support now at this point way more than 30 platforms, and we're always adding additional. So some of these are here. If you don't see any platform that you're using, let us know, because chances are we already do it. So we are constantly adding additional support for different platforms in our solution. So it's very easy for us to do that. And for the MSPs out there and customers as well, right? We have simple pay-as-you-go pricing. So the Movebot pricing model, it's listed per gigabyte, but terabyte, petabyte, you just scale up from there, right? But essentially our cost is 75 cents per gigabyte, and we do offer volume pricing. So the more you move, the cost comes way down. If you move in 5 petabytes, the cost comes way down at 5 petabytes because that's just the scale, right? But it allows you to work closely with that customer and really have that pricing set in there. Movebot will also help you determine how much data you're actually moving. So sometimes you'll see, like for example, if you're migrating from Box, you'll see multiple revisions and versions. The reality is Movebot doesn't care for those. They only care for that one version and whatever other ones you want to bring along. But that will maybe help you save, a big chunk of that migration from time and obviously money. We have predictable mailbox pricing, so we charge one fixed cost per mailbox. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we will scale. So depending on the size, depending on the migration type, there may be some additional scales with volume. All right, so as I said, I wanted to keep it short, but what's next is create an account, right? So go to movebot.io, hit register. You can join our MSP starter. We'll get you started now with it. We'll give you some test data to play with. So if you have a small migration, we're more than happy to throw some credits into your account so you can actually use it. Get introduced to our support engineers. We have fantastic support. It's based out of Christchurch, but these ladies and gentlemen work around the clock to make sure our customers are supported. 80% of our customers are actually in North America. And run your first Movebot migration. We're here we're behind you. We're here to help you. And Dan, that's what I have. So plenty of time back to everybody.
Awesome. Excellent job. And I appreciate you doing this under the weather. Yeah, definitely, like I was mentioning, earlier, just there's so many different scenarios. The one big scenario that I didn't add in was just the mailboxes, and that's such a critical thing too, because even though I think most clients are have 360, everybody on 365 as an example. You're still bringing on new clients that might be doing something else, and it's amazing how there's still opportunities from that perspective, but especially like we talked about, cloud to cloud, server to cloud. And one of the things that Colin brought up to me at one point too that jumped out, and maybe you said this as well, is even those scenarios from cloud back to server. So that's also an interesting one. So appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and move into our next segment here. So what we're going to do right now is before we open up our demo rooms. And also, as a quick reminder, we have $250 cash that will be given away. So be sure to hang tight with us until the end. We're going to go ahead and throw a poll up right now asking who you would like to hear about. So we have three great vendors here. And so if you'd like to hear from, Autotask, Equilibrium, or Movebot, go ahead and, go ahead and fill out the poll there that you see on your screen. And so we'll wait a moment while you do that. And so what's going to happen next? We are going to go into our demo rooms, our breakout rooms, and this is your opportunity to be able to ask additional questions, to be able to, see anything that you want to see. So any questions that you had saved up, be sure to go ahead and ask them during the demo rooms. Now, you're able to jump around to the demo room, so you can start out, maybe jumping over to see Pete with Equilibrium, and then maybe you want to go over and see, Vic with Autotask, and then Ramiro with Movebot. You can jump around. At the bottom of the screen, once we do open up those demo rooms, there is a button that says Breakout Rooms, and it actually might be hidden now under More. I think they're moving things around a little bit on us. Zoom is, but those breakout rooms, you'll be able to pick and choose which breakout room you want. So you'll be able to select that, and then you can move from one demo room to another. So just keep that in mind. So what's going to happen is you'll be in the demo room for a little bit. Again, feel free to jump around. And then once about 120 seconds before we close out the demo rooms, we'll send a notification. Everybody will get moved right back into the main stage. We'll give away our $250 cash, and then we'll wrap things up. So with that being said, Taylor, if you want to go ahead and open up the demo rooms, and if you have any questions while you are any questions about how to get into the demo room, you can go ahead and throw that into the chat, and we'll answer that for you. But we'll go ahead and open up those demo rooms now, and you can go ahead and pick and choose which room you want to jump into.